The hospital bill felt like a death sentence in Amani's trembling hands. She stared at the numbers on the paper. $47,000. Her little brother Jamal needed surgery, and she didn't have even half of that money. The fluorescent lights in the waiting room buzzed above her head like angry bees. Other families sat around her, looking just as tired and scared as she felt. Her mama had passed 2 years ago from cancer. Now it was just her and Jamal. He was only 15, with his whole life ahead of him. But without this surgery, the doctors said his heart wouldn't make it past his 16th birthday. Amani worked 2 jobs, one at a bookstore in Brooklyn during the day, another cleaning offices at night. Her hands were rough. Her back ached all the time. She was only 24, but felt 40. Still, no matter how many hours she worked, the money never came fast enough. Every time she thought she was getting ahead, another bill arrived. Rent, food, medicine. The math never added up. Her phone buzzed in her purse. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Bill collectors called all day long, but something made her swipe to accept the call. "Is this Amani Bennett?" a woman's smooth voice asked. "Yes. Who's this?" "My name is Zuri Montgomery. I have a business proposal that could solve all your problems. Can we meet tomorrow?" Amani's heart hammered. "What kind of proposal?" "The kind that comes with $500,000, Zuri said, "if you're brave enough to take it." Malik Montgomery didn't believe in love, but he needed a wife by Monday. He sat in his corner office on the 45th floor of Montgomery Tech headquarters in Atlanta, staring out into the city below. His company was worth $3 billion. He had cars, houses, and more money than he could spend in 3 lifetimes. But the Tanaka family, the Japanese investors he needed for his biggest deal yet, wanted to see a stable family man. They didn't trust a 32-year-old bachelor with their $300 million investment. "You need to get married, Malik," his board chairman had said last week, "or this whole deal falls apart." Malik loosened his tie. Marriage. The word tasted bitter. His parents had the worst marriage he'd ever seen. His father cheated, his mother cried. Then she left, and his father acted like she never existed. Malik learned early that love was just a pretty lie people told themselves before the pain started. His office door opened. His younger sister Zuri walked in, wearing a confident smile. She always looked like she knew something he didn't. "I found your wife," she announced. Malik raised an eyebrow. "Excuse me?" "Her name is Amani Bennett, 24, works 2 jobs, has a sick brother who needs expensive surgery. She's perfect." "Perfect for what exactly?" "A contract marriage. 90 days, you get your deal, she gets money for her brother. Clean, simple, no feelings involved." Zuri placed a folder on his desk. "I already reached out. She'll meet us tomorrow." Malik opened the folder. A photo stared back at him. Dark brown skin, natural hair pulled back in a ponytail, tired eyes that had seen too much struggle. She was beautiful in a real way, not like the Instagram models who usually throw themselves at him. "Why would she agree?" he asked. "Because she's desperate," Zuri said. "Just like you." Amani had never been inside a building this fancy in her entire life. The lobby of Montgomery Tech looked like something from a movie. Marble floors so shiny she could see her reflection. A waterfall ran down one wall. Security guards in suits stood by the elevators. Everyone wore expensive clothes and walked fast, like their time was worth more than hers. Her down at her best dress, a simple navy blue one from Target, and suddenly felt small. "Miss Bennett," a woman approached. She was gorgeous, with flawless makeup and a designer pantsuit. "I'm Zuri Montgomery. Thank you for coming." They shook hands. Zuri's grip was firm and warm. "Follow me. My brother's waiting upstairs." The elevator rode so smooth Amani barely felt it moving. Soft music played. Zuri made small talk about the weather, but Amani could barely focus. $500,000! The number spun in her head like a slot machine. That money could save Jamal, pay off debt, give them a real chance at life. But what did these people want from her? The elevator doors opened to the top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed the whole city of Atlanta spread out like a postcard. Zuri led her down a hall to a huge corner office. And that's when Imani saw him. Malik Montgomery stood with his back to them, looking out the window. He was tall, maybe 6'3", with broad shoulders under a perfectly fitted black suit. His fade was crisp. Even from behind, he looked powerful, like someone used to getting exactly what he wanted. He turned around, and Imani forgot how to breathe. The man was fine. Deep brown skin, strong jawline, eyes that seemed to look straight through her. But his expression was cold, businesslike. He looked at her the way someone might look at a car they were thinking about buying. "Miss Bennett," he said. His voice was deep and smooth. "Let's talk about our arrangement." "I need a wife for 90 days, Malik said, like he was ordering coffee. Imani blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" "Sit down, please." He gestured to a leather chair across from his desk. Imani sat, her purse clutched tight in her lap. Malik sat down too, folding his hands on the desk. Everything about him screamed control. "I have a business deal worth $300 million. The investors are traditional. They want to see that I'm settled, married, stable. So, you want to hire me to pretend to be your wife?" Imani asked slowly. "Exactly." Malik slid a thick contract across the desk. 90 days. We get married at the courthouse. You move into my house. We attend events together. We act like a couple in public. After 90 days, we divorce quietly. You walk away with $500,000. Imani's hands shook as she picked up the contract. The words blurred together. "This is crazy." "This is business," Malik corrected. "Your brother needs surgery. I need a wife. We both win." "How do you know about my brother?" Anger flashed through her. "I do my research," Malik said simply. "Jamal Bennett, 15 years old, congenital heart defect. Surgery costs $47,000. Your insurance won't cover it. You're 3 months behind on rent. You work 80 hours a week and still can't make ends meet." He leaned back in his chair. "I'm offering you a way out." Tears burned Imani's eyes, but she refused to let them fall, not in front of this man. "And what do you get besides your business deal?" "Nothing. This is strictly professional. Separate bedrooms, no physical relationship. You play the role. That's it." His eyes were hard. "I don't believe in love, Ms. Bennett. This is just a transaction." Imani looked down at the contract, at the number. $500,000. She thought about Jamal in that hospital bed, his smile getting weaker every day. "I need to think about it," she whispered. "You have until tomorrow morning. After that, I find someone else." Imani sat beside Jamal's hospital bed, watching him sleep. The machines beeped steadily. His chest rose and fell with each breath. He looked so young, so innocent, just a kid who wanted to play basketball and go to prom and live a normal life. But his heart was failing, and time was running out. Her phone buzzed, a text from Zuri. "Decision time. My brother doesn't wait for anyone." Imani's hands shook. Could she really do this? Marry a stranger, lie to everyone, live in some billionaire's house and pretend to love a man who looked at her like she was a business deal? But then Jamal stirred. His eyes opened, unfocused and tired. "Manny?" he mumbled. That's what he called her since he was a baby. "You okay?" "I'm fine, baby brother. Go back to sleep." "You look worried." He tried to sit up, but she gently pushed him back down. "It's the money." "Don't worry about the money. I'll be okay." That broke my heart. He was 15 years old and trying to comfort me, trying to tell me it was okay if he died because we couldn't afford to save him. "You're going to be fine," Imani said firmly. "I promise." After Jamal fell back to sleep, Imani pulled out her phone. She stared at Zuri's message for a long time. Then she typed, "I'll do it. When do we start?" The response came in seconds. "Tomorrow, 10 a.m., Fulton County Courthouse. Wear something nice." Imani looked at her brother one last time. "I'm doing this for you. I'd do anything for you." Even marry a man who didn't believe in love? Even lie to everyone she knew? Even risk her own heart? Tomorrow, she would become Mrs. Malik Montgomery, and nothing would ever be the same. The courthouse smelled like old paper and broken dreams. And someone was watching them. Imani stood in the hallway wearing a simple white dress she'd bought that morning from Ross for $29.99. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Around her, other couples waited for their turn. Some looked happy, some looked nervous. She didn't notice the woman in sunglasses and a scarf taking photos from across the hall. "You came?" Malik's voice made her jump. He stood behind her in a sharp gray suit, looking like he'd stepped out of GQ magazine. No smile, no warmth, just business as usual. "I wasn't sure you'd come. I gave you my word." "Good. Let's get this over with." He held out his arm. She took it, and they walked into the small room where a judge waited. The ceremony took 4 minutes. 4 minutes to change her entire life. The judge, a tired-looking black woman with reading glasses, recited the words in a bored voice. "Do you, Malik Joseph Montgomery, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?" "I do." "Do you, Imani Rose Bennett, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband?" "I do." "By the power vested in me by the state of Georgia, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Malik leaned in. His lips brushed hers so quickly it barely counted as a kiss. Cold, mechanical, nothing like the romantic first kiss she'd imagined as a little girl. What neither of them saw was the woman in sunglasses slipping away, her phone full of photos. The woman who used to be Malik's fiancée 3 years ago. The woman who destroyed him and now wanted him back. Vanessa Richards smiled to herself as she texted someone. "It's done. He married her. Time to put our plan into action." "Congratulations," the judge said, not sounding congratulatory at all. They signed the papers. Just like that, Imani Bennett became Imani Montgomery. In the courthouse parking lot, Malik handed her an envelope. "First payment, $50,000 for your brother's surgery. The rest comes when our 90 days are up." Imani opened the envelope. A cashier's check. $50,000. More money than she'd ever seen in her life. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't thank me. This is business." He opened the passenger door of a sleek black Mercedes. "Get in. I'll take you to your brother's hospital. You can give them the money. Then we go to my house, our house. You're moving in tonight." As they drove away, neither of them noticed the black SUV that began following them 3 cars back. Malik's house wasn't a house. It was a whole estate in Buckhead, and it had secrets. Imani pressed her face against the car window as they pulled through iron gates. The driveway curved through perfectly landscaped gardens, fountains, trees, flowers she didn't know the names of. And then the house came into view. 3 stories of modern architecture with huge windows and stone walls. It looked like something from MTV Cribs. "This is where you live?" she breathed. Where we live, Malik corrected, parking in a 6-car garage for the next 90 days. He grabbed her 2 suitcases, everything she owned in the world, and let her inside. The interior was even more impressive. High ceilings, marble floors, art on the walls that probably cost more than her yearly salary. Everything was clean, modern, and cold, like a museum instead of a home. "Your room is upstairs," Malik said, climbing a curved staircase, second door on the left. He pushed open the door and Imani gasped. The bedroom was huge. King-size bed, walk-in closet, bathroom with a tub big enough to swim in. Windows overlooking the garden. It was the nicest room she'd ever seen, let alone slept in. "My room is at the end of the hall. We share common spaces, kitchen, living room, home office, but we respect each other's privacy. Clear?" "Crystal," Imani said. "Good. Oh, and one more thing." He pulled out a small box and opened it. Inside was a diamond ring. Huge, sparkling, probably cost more than a car. He took her hand, the first time he'd really touched her since that quick kiss, and slid the ring onto her finger. It was heavy, cold. Perfect fit. He then dropped her hand like it burned him. "I have work to do. Make yourself at home, or whatever." He walked out, leaving her alone in her new bedroom. Imani looked around at the luxury surrounding her. Then she looked down at the massive diamond on her finger. She was married to a stranger, living in a mansion. That night, Imani couldn't sleep. She heard strange sounds, footsteps in the hallway that weren't Malik's, whispers that seemed to come from the walls. At 3 a.m., she got up to investigate. The house was dark, except for a light coming from under a door she hadn't noticed before. A door at the end of a hallway she thought was just a wall. She walked closer. The whispers got louder. A woman's voice. Crying? No, laughing, cold, cruel laughter. Imani reached for the doorknob. It was locked, but through the crack at the bottom she could see shadows moving. Someone was in there. "I wouldn't do that if I were you." Imani spun around. Malik stood in the darkness, his face half shadowed. He looked different, dangerous. "What's behind that door?" "Ghosts. Just ghosts. Go back to bed, Imani. Some doors are meant to stay closed." Imani woke up to find her car windshield smashed and a note tucked under the broken glass. She'd gone outside to check the mail, still in her pajamas, coffee mug in hand. The black Mercedes Malik had given her to use sat in the driveway with a spider web crack across the windshield. Her heart jumped into her throat. The note was written in red ink, or was that blood? "Gold digger, leave while you still can. He's not who you think he is." Imani's hand shook so bad she dropped her coffee mug. It shattered on the driveway. She looked around. The estate was surrounded by gates and security cameras. How did someone get in? "What the hell?" Malik's voice came from behind her. He wore gym clothes, sweat still on his skin from a morning workout. His eyes went dark when he saw the car. He snatched the note from her hand. His jaw clenched. "Get inside. Now." "Malik, what?" "Inside. Now." His voice was so sharp, so full of rage, that she stumbled backward. In the house, Malik was on the phone immediately. "I need you to pull last night's security footage, all cameras. Someone got into my property. I don't care how secure you thought it was. Someone got in." He paused. "Just find out who it was." He hung up and turned to Imani. For a moment, His mask slipped. She saw fear in his eyes, real, genuine fear. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I shouldn't have yelled at you." "Who would do this? Who even knows we're married?" "I don't know." But the way he said it made Imani think he was lying. "I'll handle it. You don't need to worry." "Someone threatened me. On your property? I think I have a right to worry." Malik ran a hand over his face. "There are things about my past I haven't told you. Things I hope would stay buried." "What things?" Before he could answer, his phone rang. He looked at the screen and his face went pale. Terror. That's what she saw on his face. Pure terror. He showed her the screen. A photo of her and Jamal at the hospital yesterday. Someone had been following them. The text read, "Beautiful family. Would be ashamed if something happened to the boy." Imani felt the world tilt. They're threatening Jamal? "Pack a bag," Malik said, his voice deadly calm. "We're moving your brother here, today, right now, where I can protect him." "From who?" "From my past. From the biggest mistake I ever made. Her name is Vanessa, and she's come back to destroy everything I care about." Vanessa Richards sat in her penthouse apartment, watching the security footage on her laptop with a smile. She'd waited 3 years for this. 3 years since Malik had thrown her out after discovering she'd only wanted him for his money. 3 years since he'd humiliated her, exposed her schemes to all of Atlanta's elite. 3 years since he'd made sure no rich man in the city would touch her with a 10-foot pole. Now it was time for payback. Her partner, Darius, Malik's former business rival, walked in with champagne. "To phase 1, he said, pouring 2 glasses. "To watching him suffer," Vanessa corrected, clinking her glass against his. "That little gold digger he married has no idea what she's gotten herself into." "Are you sure threatening the kid was smart? Malik's gonna lose his mind." "That's exactly the point." Vanessa pulled up another photo on her laptop, Amani's face. "She's pretty, in that natural girl next door way. Exactly his type now that he's pretending to be noble and reformed. Do you think he actually cares about her? I think it doesn't matter. Real or fake, that marriage is going to cost him everything. The Tanaka deal, his reputation, his precious company." She took a sip of champagne. "By the time I'm done, Malik Montgomery will have nothing, just like I have nothing because of him." Darius looked uncomfortable. "V, maybe we should..." "Should what? Show mercy the way he showed me mercy when he told everyone I was a con artist, when he made sure I couldn't get a job anywhere in this city?" Her voice turned cold. "No, I want him broken, desperate, alone, just like he made me." Her phone buzzed. A text from her inside source at Montgomery Tech, a security guard she'd been paying for months. "Malik just put the whole estate on lockdown, hired extra security. He's moving the girl's brother to the house." Vanessa smiled. "Perfect. Let him spend money trying to protect them. Let him get attached. It'll make it that much sweeter when I rip it all away." "What's the next move?" "We send the photos to the Tanaka family. Let them see their stable, married businessman rushed into a courthouse wedding with a nobody. Let them wonder why he's hiding her, why someone's threatening his fake wife." She finished her champagne. "And then we wait for everything to crumble." Jamal arrived at the mansion with a nurse and enough medical equipment to stock a small hospital. Amani rushed to hug him carefully. He looked better, color in his cheeks, strength in his smile, but he was confused. "Sis, what's going on? Why'd they discharge me early? Why am I at your new husband's place? It's complicated, Amani said, helping him out of the medical transport van. That's what you keep saying, but nothing about this makes sense. Jamal looked around at the massive estate. Who are you? How'd you go from working 2 jobs in Brooklyn to living like this? Malik appeared, directing the medical team. He transformed one of the ground floor guest rooms into a mini hospital room. Monitors, IV stands, a hospital bed with all the controls, everything Jamal might need. Whoa, Jamal breathed. You'll stay here until you're fully recovered, Malik said. Round-the-clock nursing care, physical therapy, whatever you need. Why? Jamal asked suspiciously. You don't even know me. You're family now, Malik said simply. But his eyes met Amani's, and she saw the truth. He was protecting Jamal because someone had threatened him, because Malik's past had put her baby brother in danger. Later that night, after Jamal was settled and the nurse had given him medication to help him sleep, Amani confronted Malik in his study. Tell me everything, she demanded, about Vanessa, about why she hates you, about what she wants. Malik poured himself a drink. Scotch. Neat. He downed it in one gulp. I met Vanessa 5 years ago at a charity gala. She was beautiful, charming, said all the right things. I thought she was different, thought she actually cared about me, not my money. What happened? I proposed after a year, gave her my mother's ring, started planning the wedding. His hands clenched into fists. Then I found out the truth. She was cheating, had been the whole time, with multiple men, all of them rich. She was playing us all, trying to figure out who had the most money before she committed. Amani sat down slowly. Oh, Malik, but that's not even the worst part. I discovered she'd been stealing from me, forging my signature, moving money out of my accounts into offshore accounts in her name. She'd stolen almost $2 million before I caught her. What did you do? I took it all back. Every penny. Had my lawyers bury her in lawsuits, made sure everyone in our social circle knew what she'd done, destroyed her reputation. He looked at Amani, and his eyes were haunted. I thought that was the end of it, but I was wrong. She's been planning revenge this whole time. And now she's targeting me and Jamal? She wants to hurt me by hurting you. She wants to destroy the Tanaka deal, ruin my company, take everything from me the way I took everything from her. Amani stood up. Then we fight back. This isn't your fight. Yes, it is. Someone threatened my brother. Someone smashed my car. I'm your wife, fake or not, and nobody threatens my family. She stepped closer to him. Then tell me the plan. How do we stop her? For the first time since the threat started, Malik smiled. You're braver than I gave you credit for. I'm a lot of things you haven't given me credit for. I'm starting to see that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. The charity gala glittered like a trap, and Vanessa was already there. Imani wore the emerald dress that hugged every curve. Malik stood beside her in a tuxedo, his hand possessive on her lower back. They'd planned this carefully. Tonight, they'd force Vanessa to show her hand. Remember, Malik murmured near her ear, she's going to try to provoke you. Stay calm, stick to the plan. I got this, Imani whispered back. They entered the ballroom and immediately felt eyes on them. Whispers started. People had heard about Malik's sudden marriage. The rumors were already spreading. Who was this mystery woman? Why the rushed courthouse wedding? Was she pregnant? Was she a gold digger? Malik Montgomery, my goodness. A woman's voice cut through the noise like a knife. Vanessa approached in a red dress, her smile predatory. She was gorgeous, mixed race with long curly hair, perfect makeup, designer everything. Next to her, Imani felt plain. "Vanessa," Malik said coldly. "And you must be the new Mrs. Montgomery." Imani's eyes swept over Imani with obvious judgment. "How cute! That dress is affordable." "It does the job." "I'm sure it does." Vanessa turned her attention back to Malik. "Married so quickly. People are talking, wondering what the rush was. The Tanaka family is very interested in hearing the story." "The story is simple. I fell in love. We got married. End of story." "Love?" "You don't believe in love, Malik. You told me that 100 times. So what's the real story? Does she trap you? Get pregnant? Or is this some kind of business arrangement?" Imani felt Malik tense beside her. This was it, the moment Vanessa tried to expose them. "The real story," Imani said, stepping forward, "is that you're bitter because he chose me over you. You had your chance and you blew it. Now you're trying to ruin his happiness because you can't stand seeing him with someone else." Vanessa's smile turned vicious. "Happiness? Oh, sweetheart. You have no idea what you've gotten yourself into. This man is incapable of love. He'll use you and throw you away just like he did to me. He threw you away because you were stealing from him." The words hung in the air. People nearby went quiet, listening. Vanessa's face turned red. "You told her?" "She's my wife. She knows everything." "Then she knows this marriage is fake, that you're only using her to secure some business deal, that in 90 days you'll divorce her and she'll walk away with a nice paycheck." She pulled out her phone. "I have proof. Photos from the courthouse, your contract marriage agreement, everything." Imani's heart stopped. How did she get the contract? Malik's expression didn't change. "Show them." "What?" Vanessa looked confused. "You heard me. Show everyone your proof. Right now. Let's see it." Vanessa's confidence wavered. She looked at her phone, scrolling through photos. Her face went pale. What? How? Looking for something?" Zori appeared beside them, smiling sweetly. "The photos, maybe. Or the fake contract you paid someone to forge? Yeah, we found out about that. Nice try, though." "You?" Vanessa looked between them, trapped. "You hired someone to hack my computer. You paid my former security guard to spy on me. You forged documents to make it look like Imani and I had a contract marriage, all to destroy me, to ruin the Tanaka deal. You deserve it. You destroyed my life. You destroyed your own life by being a criminal." Malik pulled out his phone. "I have security footage of you breaking into my estate, threatening my wife, following her brother. That's stalking, harassment, breaking and entering. Want me to call the police right now? Or will you walk away quietly and never come near my family again?" Vanessa's hand shook. Her carefully planned revenge was crumbling. "This isn't over." "Yes, it is." Malik's voice was ice. "Walk away, Vanessa, before I press charges." She looked at Imani with pure hatred. Then she turned and walked out of the ballroom, her red dress swishing behind her. The crowd erupted in whispers. Malik pulled Imani close. "You okay?" That was terrifying. "You were perfect." He kissed her forehead. "Come on, let's get out of here." But as they left, Imani couldn't shake the feeling that Vanessa wasn't done yet. Something about the way she'd look back at them, the promise of revenge in her eyes. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. Imani couldn't sleep after the gala, and neither could Malik. They sat in the kitchen at 2 a.m., sharing leftover Chinese food straight from the containers. The adrenaline from confronting Vanessa had worn off, leaving them exhausted but wired. "Do you think she'll actually leave us alone?" Imani asked, picking at her lo mein. Honestly, no. Malik set down his chopsticks. People like Vanessa don't just give up. We won this round, but she'll be back. That's comforting. I'm sorry for dragging you into my mess, for putting you and Jamal in danger. Imani looked at him, really looked at him. His tie was gone, his shirt unbuttoned at the collar. He looked tired, human, nothing like the cold businessman she'd first met. "Why'd you really marry me?" she asked softly. "You know why. The business deal." "No. I mean, you could have hired anyone, found some actress or model who'd jump at the chance. Why me? A broke girl from Brooklyn with nothing to offer." Malik was quiet for a long moment. "You want the truth?" "Always. When Zuri showed me your photo, I saw something in your eyes. Strength, determination. You were exhausted and overwhelmed, but you hadn't given up. You were still fighting for your brother, still working 2 jobs, still trying." He reached across the table and took her hand. "I recognize that look. It's the same one I saw in the mirror when I was building my company from nothing, when everyone said I'd fail, when I had $5 in my bank account and a dream everyone called stupid." "You had $5? I grew up poor, Imani. Projects in Southwest Atlanta. Mama working 3 jobs. Father drinking away whatever money she brought home. When I said I understood struggle, I meant it. I wasn't always this." He gestured around the mansion. "This came from 15 years of 18-hour days and never giving up." Imani squeezed his hand. "I didn't know. Most people don't. They see the money and assume I was born with it, that it was easy. They don't see the sacrifice, the nights I chose work over friends, over relationships, over everything. They don't see what I gave up to get here." "What did you give up?" "Myself. The parts of me that weren't useful to the business, the parts that liked art and music and just being human. I turned myself into a machine, efficient, focused, cold." He looked at her. "And then you walked in and reminded me what it felt like to care about something other than money and deals." Imani's heart raced. "Malik, I know this was supposed to be fake, a transaction, but somewhere between the courthouse and tonight, it started feeling real to me. You feel real to me. You feel real to me, too." They stared at each other across the kitchen table. The space between them felt charged, electric. Malik stood up slowly, walking around the table. He stopped in front of her, cupping her face gently. "This is a bad idea," he whispered. "Probably. We have 63 days left on our contract." "I know. If we do this, if we cross this line, there's no going back." "Maybe I don't want to go back." He kissed her. Not the cold courthouse kiss, not the quick peck for show. This was fire, desperate, real. His hands tangled in her hair. She pulled him closer, needing more. The kiss deepened, and suddenly they were moving. Down the hall, up the stairs, into his bedroom. Clothes fell away. Inhibitions disappeared. And for the first time since this crazy arrangement started, they stopped pretending. Imani woke up in Malik's arms, sunlight streaming through the windows. For a moment, she just lay there, listening to his heartbeat, feeling his warmth. Last night had been everything, real, raw, beautiful. She'd given him all of her, and he'd given her all of him. No walls, no masks, just truth. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A text from an unknown number. She reached for it, careful not to wake Malik. What she saw made her blood run cold. A photo of her and Malik last night through the bedroom window. Someone had been outside the mansion, watching them, photographing their most intimate moment. The message read, "Beautiful couple. The tabloids would pay a fortune for these photos. Unless you want to pay me first. $100,000. You have 24 hours. Imani's hands shook so badly she almost dropped the phone. Someone had photographed them. Through the window, in Malik's bedroom. Their private moment was now in a stranger's hands. What's wrong? Malik's voice was sleepy, then sharp as he saw her face. Imani, what happened? She showed him the phone. She watched his expression go from confused to furious in 2 seconds flat. That's it. He grabbed his own phone. I'm calling the FBI. This is blackmail, invasion of privacy, criminal trespassing. Wait. Imani grabbed his arm. What if it's Vanessa? What if this is exactly what she wants? For you to make a scene, to bring attention to us, to make the Tanaka family question your stability. Malik stopped. His jaw clenched. You're right. This is her. It has to be. So what do we do? Before Malik could answer, his phone rang. The Tanaka family's lawyer. Malik's face went pale as he listened. I understand. Yes, I can explain. Tomorrow? That's very short notice. Of course. I'll be there. He hung up and looked at Imani with fear in his eyes. The Tanaka family wants to meet. Tomorrow morning. They've heard concerning rumors about our marriage. If we can't convince them it's real, the deal is off. Then we convince them. Imani, they're going to ask questions about how we met, when we fell in love, our wedding, our future plans. If we mess up even once, we won't. She took his hand. Because it's not fake anymore, is it? He pulled her close. No, it's not. Then we tell them the truth, that we met, we got married fast, we fell in love. All of that is true. You're right. He kissed her forehead. We can do this. But as Imani got dressed, her phone buzzed again. Another message from the blackmailer. Tick-tock, 23 hours left. Pay up or everyone sees what you did last night. And attached was another photo. This one worse than the first. More explicit, more private. Imani felt sick. Someone had violated their privacy, turned their beautiful moment into a weapon. And whoever it was, they weren't playing games. She looked at Malik getting dressed, his back to her, and made a decision. She wouldn't tell him about the second message. Not yet. He had enough to worry about with the Tanaka meeting. She'd handle this herself. She texted back, How do I know you'll delete the photos after I pay? The response came immediately. You don't, but you have no choice. Pay or I release them. Your move, Mrs. Montgomery.
Imani spent the day trying to figure out how to get $100,000 without Malik knowing. She couldn't access the money he'd given her for Jamal. That was locked in an account for medical expenses only. Her own bank account had maybe $300. She had no assets, no collateral, nothing. By noon, she was desperate. She called the one person who might understand. Zuri, I need your help. They met at a coffee shop in Midtown. Zuri took one look at Imani's face and ordered them both something strong. Okay, spill. What's wrong? Imani showed her the messages and photos. Zuri's eyes went wide. Oh, hell no. Who took these? I don't know. but they want $100,000 by tomorrow or they release them to the tabloids. Does Malik know? No. He stressed enough about the Tanaka meeting. I can't add this to his plate. Zuri leaned back, thinking. You know this is probably Vanessa, right? This reeks of her MO. She's desperate. She knows the gala didn't work, so she's trying something else. I figured, but I can't prove it. And you can't get $100,000 in 24 hours without Malik finding out. Zuri tapped her perfectly manicured nails on the table. Unless what? Unless we set a trap. We pay her, or whoever it is, but we track the money, follow it back to the source, then we have proof, real concrete evidence to take to the police. How do we do that? Leave that to me. I know some people. Zuri pulled out her phone. But you need to tell Malik, today, before the Tanaka meeting. If these photos come out and he doesn't know about them, it'll look like you're hiding things from him, like the marriage really is fake. Imani knew she was right, but the thought of telling Malik, of seeing the hurt on his face that she'd kept this from him, I'll tell him tonight, after dinner. Promise me? I promise. But when Imani got back to the mansion, everything fell apart. Malik was in his study with 2 police officers. His face was stone. When he saw her, something flickered in his eyes. Anger? Betrayal? Mrs. Montgomery, we need to ask you some questions about your marriage to Mr. Montgomery. What? Why? Someone filed a complaint claiming your marriage is a fraud, that you're only married to help him secure a business deal. That's illegal under federal marriage fraud statutes. Imani's heart stopped. Who filed the complaint? Anonymous tip, but we have to investigate. So I'll ask you directly. Is your marriage to Malik Montgomery real or fake? Imani looked at Malik. His jaw was clenched. His hands were fists, but his eyes were begging her to tell the truth. It's real, she said firmly. We got married because we love each other. That's not what our source claims. They say you signed a contract, that you're being paid $500,000 for 90 days of fake marriage. How did they know the exact terms, the exact amount? Only 3 people knew those details. Her, Malik, and Zuri, which meant someone very close to them had betrayed them. I don't know what your source told you, but they're lying. Our marriage is real, legal, legitimate. The officers exchanged looks. We'll need to verify that. Mr. Montgomery, Mrs. Montgomery, don't leave town. We'll be in touch. After they left, Malik poured himself a drink, downed it, poured another. Malik, who did you tell? His voice was ice. Who did you tell about our arrangement? No one, I swear. Someone knows, Imani. Someone knows everything, and the timing is perfect, isn't it? Right before the Tanaka meeting, right when Vanessa's other plans failed, he turned to face her. Unless you are working with her. What? Imani couldn't believe what she was hearing. You think I'm working with Vanessa? I don't know what to think anymore. 2 months ago, you were broke, desperate. Now you're living in luxury. Maybe the money wasn't enough. Maybe Vanessa offered you more to help her destroy me. How can you say that? After last night? After everything we shared? Last night could have been part of the plan. Get close to me, make me trust you, then stab me in the back? His voice cracked. I knew better than to trust anyone. I knew better than to fall for... He stopped himself, but the words hung in the air anyway. Fall for her. He'd about to say he'd fallen for her. I'm not working with Vanessa, Imani said, tears streaming down her face. I would never betray you. Her phone buzzed. The blackmailer, right on time. And the text lit up her screen for Malik to see. Time's almost up. 5 hours left. Pay or I release everything. Malik grabbed her phone before she could stop him, read the messages, saw the photos. His face went from angry to devastated. You were being blackmailed? Someone photographed us and you didn't tell me? His voice was barely a whisper. How long have you known? Since this morning. I was going to tell you tonight, I swear. Get out. What? Get out of my house. Out of my life. This marriage is over. Malik, please. I said get out. He threw her phone at the wall. It shattered. You lied to me, kept secrets, made me think. He couldn't finish. His eyes were wet. Just go. Take your money. Take your brother. Leave. I love you, Imani sobbed. I love you and I would never hurt you. You already did. He turned his back on her. You have 1 hour to pack and leave. After that, I'm calling security. Imani stood there, her heart breaking into a million pieces. This couldn't be happening. Not when they just found each other. Not when everything was finally real. But Malik's shoulders were rigid. His decision made. She'd lost him. And she had no idea how to get him back.
Imani packed through tears, throwing clothes into suitcases with shaking hands. Jamal rolled into her room in his wheelchair. He was getting stronger every day. Sis, what's happening? Why are you packing? We're leaving. I'm sorry. I know you were getting better here, but... Did you and Malik fight? Something like that. That's stupid. You guys love each other. Anyone can see it. Love isn't always enough. She zipped up a suitcase. She called a car service, arranged for medical transport for Jamal, started carrying her bags downstairs. The house that had started to feel like home now felt like a prison. Malik was nowhere to be seen. He locked himself in his study and hadn't come out. Imani was loading the last bag into the car when Zuri pulled up, tires screeching. Don't go. Zuri jumped out of her car, waving her phone. I figured it out. I know who's behind everything. It doesn't matter anymore. Malik doesn't trust me. It's over. It's Darius Chan, Malik's old business partner. Zuri pulled up photos on her phone. I hired a PI to track the blackmail money. The account traces back to a shell company owned by Darius. He's the one who filed the police complaint. He's working with Vanessa to destroy Malik. Imani's heart jumped. Darius? The guy who tried to steal Malik's first company? The same. Malik beat him in court 5 years ago. Cost him everything. He's been waiting for revenge ever since. Zuri grabbed Imani's shoulders. Don't you see? Vanessa and Darius planned this together. The threats, the blackmail, the police complaint. They knew Malik would suspect you. They were counting on it. Counting on him pushing you away so he'd be alone and vulnerable. I need to tell him. Imani started toward the house. Wait. Zuri held up her phone again. There's more. I got access to Vanessa's emails. Don't ask how. She's planning something for tomorrow during the Tanaka meeting. Something big. Something that'll destroy Malik's reputation permanently. What is it? I don't know yet, but we have to stop her. Zuri looked at Imani seriously. But I can't do it without you, and Malik can't survive this without you. So you need to make a choice. Walk away and stay safe, or stay and fight for him. Imani looked back at the mansion, at the man inside who's stolen her heart and then broke it. The man who given her brother a chance at life. The man who's shown her what real love could feel like. I'm not going anywhere, she said firmly, not until we destroy Vanessa and Darius and save Malik's company. Even after he kicked you out? Especially after that, because he only pushed me away because he's scared, because people he trusted before betrayed him, because he's been hurt so many times he doesn't know how to let anyone in. Imani squared her shoulders. But I'm not giving up on him. On us, not without a fight. Zuri grinned. That's what I wanted to hear. Now let's go save my idiot brother. They marched back into the mansion, straight to Malik's study. Zuri didn't knock, just kicked the door open. Malik sat at his desk, head in his hands. He looked up surprised. I told you to leave. And I told you I love you,
So I'm staying, whether you like it or not. Imani, shut up and listen. Zuri threw her phone on his desk. Darius Chen. That's who's behind everything. The blackmail, the police complaint, the threats. He's working with Vanessa. They planned this whole thing to destroy you. Malik looked at the evidence. His expression changed from angry to shocked to furious. Darius, I should have known. Yeah, you should have, but instead you blamed your wife, the woman who's done nothing but stand by you, the woman who was trying to protect you from more stress before your big meeting. Zuri glared at her brother. You messed up, Malik, big time. Malik looked at Imani, really looked at her, saw the tears on her face, the hurt in her eyes, the love she was still showing even after he threw her out. I'm sorry, he said softly, his voice breaking. I'm so sorry. I thought you would like Vanessa, that you betrayed me. I was so scared of getting hurt again that I hurt you first. I know, Imani said softly. I understand. But Malik, if we're going to make this work, really work, you have to trust me. Even when things look bad, even when you're scared, you have to trust that I'm on your side. Can you forgive me? Ask me again after we destroy Vanessa and Darius and save your company. A small smile touched his lips. Deal. Zuri clapped her hands. Great! Now that we're all friends again, let's focus. The Tanaka meeting is tomorrow at 9 a.m. We have less than 18 hours to figure out what Vanessa and Darius are planning and stop them. Where do we start? Imani asked. Malik stood up, his business mask sliding back into place. But this time, Imani saw through it, saw the man beneath, the man who was scared and hurt but still fighting. We start by setting our own trap, and this time we're playing to win. They worked through the night, piecing together Vanessa and Darius's scheme. Zuri's private investigator came through with more evidence, bank records, email trails, photos. The picture became clearer with each piece. They're planning to crash the Tanaka meeting, Zuri said, spreading documents across Malik's desk. Vanessa's going to show up with proof that your marriage is fake. Photos, the fake contract, everything. Let her, Malik said calmly. We'll be ready. How?
We fight fire with fire. We expose them before they can expose us. He pulled up a file on his computer. I've been gathering evidence on Darius for years. Illegal business deals, fraud, tax evasion. Everything I need to destroy him. I never used it because I thought I'd move past revenge. But now? Imani asked. Now, he threatened my family. Now, he crossed a line. Malik's eyes were hard, and I'm done playing nice. They spent the next 6 hours preparing, gathering evidence, printing documents, planning their counterattack. By 3 a.m., they had everything they needed. Get some sleep, Malik told Imani. We have a big day tomorrow. What about you? I'll sleep later, after this is done. Then I'm staying up with you, she sat beside him. We're in this together, remember? He took her hand, squeezed it. Together. At 8:30 the next morning, they arrived at Montgomery Tech headquarters. The Tanaka family was already in the conference room. Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka and their lawyer. All three looked serious. Mr. Montgomery, Mrs. Montgomery. Mr. Tanaka bowed slightly. Thank you for meeting with us on short notice. Of course, Malik said smoothly, though I wish I understood why this meeting was necessary. We've received disturbing information about your marriage. We need clarification before we proceed with our investment. Right on cue, the conference room doors burst open. Vanessa strutted in wearing a power suit, Darius right behind her. Sorry we're late, Vanessa said with a fake smile, but I have information the Tanaka family needs to hear before they invest $300 million in a fraud. Security, Malik called. Wait, Mr. Tanaka held up a hand. Let her speak. I want to hear what she has to say. Vanessa pulled out a folder. Malik Montgomery's marriage is fake, a contract arrangement to make him look stable. I have proof, photos from their courthouse wedding, documents showing they barely knew each other, evidence that this whole thing is a scam. She spread the documents on the conference table. The Tanaka family leaned forward, studying them. Imani's heart pounded. This was it. Make or break. Is this true, Mr. Montgomery? Mrs. Tanaka asked quietly. Malik stood up. No, it's not. Then how do you explain these documents? They're forgeries, created by Vanessa Richards and Darius Chin as part of an elaborate revenge scheme. I have evidence that Vanessa hired someone to hack my computer and steal personal information, that Darius created fake documents using that information, that together they've been harassing my wife, threatening her brother, and trying to sabotage this business deal. He spread his evidence on the table. Bank records showing payments from Vanessa to hackers, emails between her and Darius planning the attack, photos of Darius' shell companies used for the blackmail scheme. This is ridiculous, Vanessa sputtered. He's lying. Am I? Malik pulled up a video on the conference room screen. Security footage of Vanessa breaking into his estate, of her smashing Imani's car windshield, of her leaving the threatening note. Vanessa's face went pale. I also have evidence of your illegal business dealings, Darius. Tax fraud, money laundering, embezzlement. Want me to keep going? Or should I just call the FBI now? Darius stood up. This is entrapment. This is justice. Malik's voice was cold. You two tried to destroy my life, my marriage, my company. You threatened my family, and you thought you'd get away with it? We would have, Vanessa hissed, if you weren't so pathetically in love with her. She pointed to Imani. I could see it at the gala, the way you looked at her, like she was the only person in the room, like she actually mattered to you. She does matter to me. She's my wife, and I love her. For real, not for show, not for the deal. Just because you're you. Imani's eyes filled with tears. I love you too. Mr. Tanaka stood up slowly. He looked at Vanessa and Darius with disgust. Security, please remove these people from the building. And Mr. Montgomery, please send all this evidence to the authorities. Already done, Zuri said from the doorway, holding her phone. FBI is on their way. Vanessa and Darius were escorted out, both of them screaming threats and curses. But it was over. Their revenge plot had failed. After they were gone, Mrs. Tanaka smiled warmly at Imani. Your husband fought very hard to protect you. That speaks well of his character. He's a good man, the best I know. Mr. Tanaka pulled out a pen. The investment deal is approved. Welcome to the partnership, Mr. Montgomery. They signed the papers. $300 million, the biggest deal of Malik's career. But when Imani looked at him, she saw that he wasn't looking at the contract. He was looking at her, like she was worth more than all the money in the world.
You painted me, she whispered. I've been working on it for weeks. Every time I look at you, I see beauty, strength, everything good in the world. I wanted to capture that. He took her hand. Imani, I know I messed up. I pushed you away when I should have pulled you closer. I let my past control my present, and I almost lost you because of it. But you didn't lose me. I'm still here. I don't deserve you. Maybe not, but you're stuck with me anyway. She smiled through tears. For better or worse, remember? That's what we promised. At the courthouse, when neither of us meant it. I meant it, Imani said softly. Even then, some part of me knew I was making a promise I'd want to keep. Malik kissed her, soft, sweet, full of promise and hope
and love. "I want to do this right," he said when they pulled apart. "I want to marry you again. A real wedding, with our families there, with vows that mean something, with all the love and romance you deserve. We're already married." "I know, but I want to celebrate it. I want everyone to know how much you mean to me. I want—" "Yes. Yes? Yes, I'll marry you again. As many times as you want. Today? Tomorrow? Forever." He laughed, the sound full of joy. "How about we start with one proper wedding?" "Deal." That night, they had dinner with Jamal and Zuri, celebrating, laughing, being a family. Jamal was getting stronger every day. His surgery had been a success. He'd make a full recovery. "So when's the real wedding?" Jamal asked, grinning at his sister. "Soon," Malik said. "Very soon. And you'll walk her down the aisle, if that's okay with you." Jamal's eyes went wide. "For real?" "For real. You're the man of her family. It should be you." Jamal looked at Imani, tears in his eyes. "Mama would be so happy. Seeing you happy. Seeing you loved." "She'd be proud of you too," Imani said, taking his hand. "So proud of how strong you've been." Later, when Jamal was in bed and Zuri had gone home, Malik and Imani sat in the garden under the stars. "What are you thinking about?" Malik asked. "How crazy this all is. 3 months ago, I was broke and desperate. Now I'm married to a billionaire, living in a mansion. My brother's healthy. Vanessa and Darius are going to jail. It feels like a dream. If it's a dream, I don't want to wake up." "Me neither." She leaned against his shoulder. "But Malik, can I ask you something? Anything. Do you ever regret it? The contract, the way we started?" He thought about it. "No, because if we hadn't started this way, we might never have started at all. You were in Brooklyn working 2 jobs. I was in Atlanta building walls. We would never have met, never have had this chance." "So you think it was fate?" "I think it was luck, timing, and 2 people brave enough to take a crazy chance. And I'm grateful every single day that you answered Zuri's phone call. Even when you drive me crazy? Especially then." They kissed under the stars, 2 people who'd started as strangers and become everything to each other. And Imani knew deep in her heart that this was just the beginning of their story. The best part was yet to come. 6 weeks later, everything seemed perfect until Imani found the letter. She was cleaning out a drawer in Malik's study when she found it. An envelope addressed to him, postmarked 3 years ago, from someone named Diana Montgomery, his mother. Imani knew she shouldn't read it. It was private, personal, but something made her pull out the letter, and what she read made her blood run cold. "My dearest Malik, if you're reading this, I'm gone. The cancer finally won. But before I go, there are things you need to know. Truths I should have told you years ago. Your father and I didn't have a real marriage. We had a contract, just like the one you're planning with that girl, Vanessa. I married him for money. My family was poor, and your grandmother needed surgery. He married me to look respectable for his business partners. We agreed to 90 days, just like you're planning. But somewhere in those 90 days, we fell in love. Real love, the kind that lasts. We had you and Zuri. We built a life. The contract became real. But your father never forgave himself for starting with a lie. He pushed me away, cheated, destroyed what we had because he couldn't believe someone could truly love him. Don't make his mistakes, Malik. Don't let fear destroy something beautiful. If you ever find real love, hold on to it. Fight for it. Don't let it go because you're scared to get hurt. I love you, my son. Forever. Mama. Imani's hand shook. Malik's parents had a contract marriage too, just like theirs, and it ended in heartbreak and regret. Was that their future? Was Malik destined to repeat his father's mistakes? Found something interesting? Imani jumped. Malik stood in the doorway, his expression unreadable. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have read it. It was private and... It's okay. He walked in, taking the letter from her hands. I've read it 1,000 times, trying to understand, trying to figure out if I'm making the same mistakes he did. Are you? I don't know. He sat down heavily. Sometimes I look at you and I'm terrified that I'll mess this up, that I'll hurt you the way my father hurt my mother, that this beautiful thing we have will turn ugly and painful. So, you're thinking about ending it before it gets bad? No, he grabbed her hands. God, no. I'm thinking about how to make sure it never gets bad, how to be better than he was, how to hold on to you forever. Then tell me the truth, all of it, no more secrets. Malik took a deep breath. You want to know why I really chose you? Why you specifically? Yes, because you reminded me of my mother. Strong, determined, willing to sacrifice everything for family. When I saw your photo, when Zuri told me your story, I saw Mama. And some part of me thought, maybe if I could save you, I could save her, even though she's gone. Tears rolled down Imani's cheeks. Oh, Malik. I know it sounds crazy, but losing her destroyed me. I spent years trying to fill that hole with money and success. Nothing worked. And then you walked into my life, and suddenly I felt like I could breathe again. I'm not your mother. I can't replace her. I know. And I don't want you to. I want you to be you, Imani, the woman who fights for what she believes in, who stood up to Vanessa, who forgave me when I didn't deserve it, who makes me want to be better every single day. Imani stood up, pulling him to his feet. I have a secret too. What? The day I agreed to marry you, it wasn't just about the money. Some part of me wanted to say yes, wanted to see where this would go. I told myself it was for Jamal, but deep down, I was curious about you, about us. Really? Really? You were this cold, mysterious billionaire, and I wanted to know what was underneath all that ice, what made you so guarded. And now that I know, she touched his face gently, now that I know, I love you even more. Even knowing my parents failed? Your parents didn't fail. They loved each other for 15 years. They had 2 beautiful children. They built a life together. That's not failure, Malik. Your father just forgot how to hold on to it, but you won't, because you're not him. How do you know? Because he gave up, and you never give up. Not on business, not on family, not on us. Malik pulled her into his arms, holding her tight. I don't deserve you. Stop saying that. You deserve to be happy, to be loved, to have everything you want. All I want is you. Then you already have everything. They stood there, wrapped in each other's arms. 2 people who'd started with a contract and found forever. But Imani's phone buzzed, interrupting the moment. A text from an unknown number. Congratulations on your happiness. Too bad it won't last. Check your email. Imani's heart sank. She pulled out her phone and opened her email. What she saw made her gasp. Pictures. Pictures of her from years ago, at her lowest point. Pictures she thought were destroyed. Pictures that could ruin everything. And a message. I have more. Pay me $500,000 or I send them to every news outlet in the country. You have 48 hours. Someone new was blackmailing them. Someone who knew their secrets. Someone who wanted to destroy their happiness. And this time, they might actually succeed. Malik watched Imani's face go pale as she read her phone. What is it? He asked. She showed him the pictures, the message. His jaw clenched. Who took these? He demanded. I don't know. They're from years ago. Before I met you, I was in a bad place. After Mama died, I did things I'm not proud of. The pictures showed Imani at parties, with people who looked like trouble, in situations that looked bad, even though Imani swore nothing illegal had happened. It doesn't matter, Malik said firmly. We're not paying. But if these get out, let them. I don't care about your past. I care about our future. He pulled her close. We've already beaten Vanessa and Darius. We can beat whoever this is, too. What if the Tanaka family sees them? What if they pull their investment? Then they pull it. But I'm not letting someone terrorize you. Not again. Imani looked at him with so much love it hurt. You really mean that? Every word. Zuri burst into the room, her face flushed. I know who's blackmailing you. Who? They asked in unison.
Marcus, your ex-boyfriend from Brooklyn. Imani went white. Marcus? But how? He's been following you for months, since before you even met Malik. He saw you on the news after the Vanessa situation, saw that you married a billionaire. Now he wants his cut. Zuri pulled up information on her tablet. He's been in and out of jail, owes money to some dangerous people. He's desperate. Where is he? Malik's voice was deadly calm. That's the thing. He wants to meet tonight. Says if you don't show up with the money, the photos go live in 1 hour. Malik checked his watch. Where? The old warehouse district in southwest Atlanta. Midnight. That's a trap, Imani said. He could have people there, guns, anything. I know. Malik pulled out his phone. That's why I'm bringing backup. An hour later, they pulled up to the warehouse. Malik had called his security team, 6 trained professionals who used to be military. They surrounded the building, ready for anything. Stay in the car, Malik told Imani. No way! This is my fight, too! Imani. We're in this together, remember? I'm not letting you face him alone. Malik looked like he wanted to argue, but Zuri spoke up from the back seat. Let her go. She's tougher than you think. They walked into the warehouse together. It was dark, empty, echoing. In the center stood Marcus. He looked rough, thin, tired, desperate. Nothing like the boy Imani had dated years ago. Well, well, little Imani got herself a rich man. Marcus smiled, but it was ugly, mean. And here I thought you were too good for that kind of hustle. This isn't a hustle. I love him. Sure you do. Just like you loved me, right? Until something better came along. He pulled out his phone. Now about my money. You're not getting a penny, Malik said. Then I guess these photos go public. Wonder what your fancy investors will think when they see your wife's past, the parties, the drinking, the arrests. I was never arrested, Imani said firmly. I was at those parties, yes, but I didn't do anything illegal. You're the one who got arrested multiple times. Doesn't matter how it looks, does it? Perception is reality in your husband's world. He held up his phone.
One click and every news outlet in Georgia has these photos. Your reputation is destroyed. His business suffers. Everyone questions the perfect marriage, he sneered, unless you pay me. Or, Malik said calmly, we call the police right now and have you arrested for extortion, blackmail, harassment. That's 15 to 20 years in federal prison. You won't do that. Too messy, too public. You'll pay to make this go away. You don't know me very well, but you're about to. Malik pulled out his phone. Red and blue lights suddenly flooded the warehouse. Police cars surrounded the building. Detectives walked in, badges out. Marcus Johnson, the lead detective said, you're under arrest for extortion and blackmail. Marcus's face went from confident to terrified in seconds. Wait, no, this is a misunderstanding. Save it for your lawyer. The detectives cuffed him and read him his rights. As they led Marcus away, he looked back at Imani with pure hatred. This isn't over. You're going to regret this. No, Imani said quietly. The only thing I regret is ever wasting time on someone like you. After the police left, Malik pulled Imani into his arms. It's really over. Vanessa's in jail. Darius is facing charges. Marcus is arrested. No more threats. No more blackmail. So, what now? Now? Malik smiled. Now, we live. Really live. No more looking over our shoulders. No more fear. Zuri wiped tears from her eyes. Y'all are making me emotional over here. They laughed, the tension finally breaking. Three people who'd become a family through chaos and danger, who fought together, won together. On the drive home, Imani looked at her wedding ring, the one from the courthouse. Simple, plain, but it had survived everything. Every threat, every challenge, every moment of doubt. I don't want a new ring, she said suddenly. Malik glanced at her. What? When we do the real wedding, I want to keep this ring because it represents our journey, everything we survived, everything we overcame. This ring is real, just like us. Malik brought her hand to his lips and kissed it. Whatever you want, as long as I get to keep you. Forever, Imani promised. Forever. And for the first time in months, they both believed it, really truly believed it. The worst was behind them. The best was yet to come. Back at the mansion, Jamal was reeling up for them. He took one look at their faces and smiled. Y'all good? Better than good, Imani said, hugging her brother. We're free, really free. No more drama? No more threats? No more drama, Malik confirmed. Just us, just family. Jamal looked between them. So what happens now with the fake marriage thing? Malik and Imani exchanged glances. Then they both smiled. It stopped being fake a long time ago. Now we make it official. The right way. You mean another wedding? Jamal grinned. Can I walk her down the aisle this time? I wouldn't want anyone else, Imani said, tears in her eyes. They stayed up late that night, the three of them, planning and dreaming and laughing. No more looking over shoulders, no more fear. Just hope, just love, just family. And when Imani finally went to bed, in Malik's arms, in their bedroom, she felt peace for the first time since this whole journey began. They'd survived everything, every villain, every threat, every moment of doubt. Now, they got to live, really live, together, forever.
6 months later, Imani stood in front of the mirror in a room full of women who loved her, and she couldn't stop crying. Girl, you gonna mess up your makeup, Zuri laughed, dabbing at Imani's tears with a tissue. We just got it perfect. I can't help it, Imani sobbed. I'm just so happy. around her. Her bridesmaids fussed with her dress, a custom creation that made her feel like a queen. Cream-colored, fitted at the top to show off her curves, flowing at the bottom like a cloud. Delicate beading caught the light with every movement. Her natural hair was styled in elegant curls with fresh flowers woven through. She wore her mama's pearl earrings, the only jewelry Mama had owned. "Mama would be so proud," her cousin Keisha said softly. "She would," Imani agreed, touching the earrings. She loved Malik. She loved seeing Jamal healthy. She loved all of this. A knock on the door. Jamal poked his head in, looking sharp in his tuxedo. At 17, he was almost a man now. Tall, strong, healthy. "They're ready for you, sis." Imani took a deep breath. This was it, the real wedding, the one that mattered. Not a courthouse with strangers, but a church full of family and friends, a celebration of love that has survived everything. "How do I look at my brother?" Jamal's eyes got wet. "Like the most beautiful bride in the world." "Don't you start crying too, Zuri. We can't have everybody a mess." But they were all crying anyway, happy tears, the best kind. Downstairs, the church was packed with everyone they loved: Malik's business partners, Imani's co-workers from the bookstore, neighbors from Brooklyn and Buckhead, kids from Malik's art classes, families from his foundation, people whose lives they touched, people who touched their lives. The music started, a gospel choir singing Ave Maria in a way that made everyone feel the presence of God. The bridesmaids walked down the aisle first, Zuri leading them, stunning in emerald green. Then the music changed, the wedding march. Everyone stood, and Imani appeared at the back of the church on Jamal's arm. The church went silent, all eyes on her. But she only had eyes for one person. Malik stood at the altar in a black tuxedo, looking like everything she'd ever dreamed of. When he saw her, his face did something beautiful. It broke open with emotion. Tears streamed down his cheeks. He didn't bother wiping them away, just let everyone see how much he loved her. "You got this," Jamal whispered as they started down the aisle. Each step felt significant, like walking toward her future, toward forever. People smiled and cried as she passed. Camera flashes went off, but Imani barely noticed. All she could see was Malik. All she could feel was love. When they reached the altar, Jamal placed Imani's hand in Malik's. "Take care of my sister," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "With my life," Malik promised. "I swear it." Jamal hugged them both, then took his seat in the front row. The pastor, an older black man with kind eyes, smiled at them. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the union of Malik and Imani." Again, laughter rippled through the church. "Now, I know these two are already married legally, but today is about something more. Today is about celebrating love, real love, the kind that survives tests and trials, the kind that grows stronger through struggle." He looked at Malik and Imani. "You two have been through more in 1 year than most couples face in a lifetime. Threats, betrayal, doubt, fear, but you're still here, still standing, still choosing each other. That's what marriage is. Not the easy days, but the hard days, the days when you have to fight for love, and you fought. Boy, did you fight." The congregation murmured agreement. "Now, I believe you have written your own vows." Malik went first. He held both of Imani's hands, looking deep into her eyes. "Imani Rose Bennett Montgomery, when I met you, I was a man who had given up on love, who had convinced myself that success and money were enough, that I didn't need anyone, that needing someone made you weak. You proved me wrong about everything." Imani squeezed his hands, tears flowing freely. "You walked into my life in a $29 dress with hope in your eyes and desperation in your heart. You needed help, and I thought I was doing you a favor. Turns out you were saving me.
You saw past my money and my walls. You saw the real me, the part I'd been hiding, the artist, the son who missed his mother, the man who was scared of getting hurt again. Imani whispered. Let me finish, he said gently. I promise to trust you, even when I'm scared, even when old wounds make me want to push you away. I promise to be honest, to share my fears and my dreams. I promise to fight for us, for this marriage we're building, for this family we're building. I promise to be your partner, your best friend, your safe place. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. And I promise to never take for granted the miracle of you choosing me. Every day, for the rest of my life, I will choose you back. The church was silent, except for sniffles and quiet crying. Even the tough businessmen were wiping their eyes. Now it was Imani's turn. She took a deep breath. Malik Joseph Montgomery. I came to Atlanta desperate and scared. I was drowning in debt and fear, watching my baby brother die because I couldn't save him. I had nothing to offer you except my word and my willingness to help you with your business deal. She smiled through her tears. But somewhere between that courthouse and today, something changed. You stopped being the cold businessman who looked at me like a transaction. You became the man who made me laugh, who saw my dreams and helped me reach for them, who painted my portrait like I was something precious, who fought dragons for me.
Malik smiled at that. I promise to stand beside you, not behind you or in front of you, but beside you as your equal partner. I promise to support your dreams while chasing my own. I promise to call you out when you're building walls and to help you tear them down. I promise to love your family as my own, to honor your mother's memory by being the woman she'd want for her son. Her voice broke. I promise to choose you every single day, in every single way, for the rest of forever. Beautiful, the pastor said, wiping his own eyes. Now the rings. Zuri stepped forward with the rings, simple gold bands, no diamonds, no flash, just solid gold, permanent, real. Malik took Imani's ring and slid it onto her finger, right next to the courthouse ring she'd refused to take off. With this ring, I thee wed, for real this time. Imani took Malik's ring and slid it on his finger. With this ring, I thee wed, forever this time. By the power vested in me by God and the state of Georgia, I now pronounce you husband and wife, again and for always. The pastor grinned. Malik, kiss your bride like you mean it. And he did. Malik cupped Imani's face and kissed her with everything he had. Passion, love, promise, forever. The kind of kiss that made the congregation cheer and whistle and clap. The kind of kiss that sealed the covenant. The kind of kiss that said this is real and nothing will ever tear us apart. When they finally broke apart, both breathless, the pastor raised their joined hands. I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Malik Montgomery. The church erupted. The choir started singing. Imani and Malik walked back down the aisle together as husband and wife, for real this time, while their loved ones celebrated. Outside, rose petals fell like rain as they ran to the waiting car. Friends and family lined the church steps, cheering and throwing petals. Jamal hugged Imani tight. Love you, sis. Be happy. I am happy, the happiest I've ever been. Me too, he kissed her temple. Thank you for not giving up on us, for fighting, even when I pushed you away. Thank you for coming back, for choosing love over fear. Always. I'll always choose love now, because I'll always choose you. The speeches came next. Zuri stood up, glamorous in her bridesmaid dress, and tapped her champagne glass. I'm going to keep this short because I'm already crying, and I refuse to ugly cry in front of all these people. Laughter.
When my brother asked me to find him a wife, I thought he'd lost his mind. A contract marriage? Really? But then I met Amani, and I saw something in her eyes. Strength, heart, determination. I knew she was special. I just didn't know you'd save my brother's life, that you'd break through walls he'd spent 15 years building, that you'd remind him what it means to be human, to feel, to love. Her voice cracked. I thank you for loving him. Thank you for not giving up. And thank you for becoming the sister I always wanted. To Malik and Amani, everyone raised their glasses. To Malik and Amani. Then Jamal stood up. He looked nervous but determined. I'm not good at speeches, but I gotta say something. He looked at Malik. A year ago, I was dying. My heart was giving out, and my sister was working herself to death trying to save me. We had no hope, no options. Then you showed up. You gave us hope. You saved my life. You gave my sister a chance at happiness. He wiped his eyes. You're a good man, Malik. Thank you for loving my sister the way she deserves. And thank you for giving me a future. To the best brother-in-law in the world. More cheers, more tears, more love filling the room until it felt like the walls couldn't contain it. The party lasted till midnight. There was dancing and laughter and joy. Old friends reconnected, new friendships formed. Kids ran around while adults talked and drank and celebrated. But eventually, it was time to go. Malik and Amani said their goodbyes, hugged everyone they loved, and climbed into the car that would take them to the airport. They were flying to Jamaica for 2 weeks, a real honeymoon this time. As the car pulled away, Amani looked back at the venue, at all the people waving and cheering, at Jamal standing tall and healthy, at Zuri blowing kisses, at the life they'd built together. What are you thinking? Malik asked. That we made it. Against all odds, we actually made it. We did. And you know what the best part is? What? That this is just the beginning. We have our whole lives ahead of us, adventures to take, dreams to chase, a family to build. This story we started with the contract is gonna be the greatest love story ever told. Amani kissed him softly. I can't wait to see what happens next. Me neither. As long as I'm with you, I'm ready for anything. They arrived at the airport holding hands, boarded the plane together, and settled into first-class seats side by side. And as the plane took off, carrying them toward their honeymoon, toward their future, toward forever, Amani looked at her husband and smiled. 1 year ago, she was a desperate girl with no options. Now she was a wife, an author, a woman living her dreams. All because she'd been brave enough to answer one phone call, to take one chance, to say yes to a stranger who became everything. I love you, Malik Montgomery, she said. I love you too, Amani Montgomery, forever and always. Forever and always. And somewhere up in heaven, Mama smiled, because her babies were happy. Her babies were safe. Her babies were loved. And that's all she ever wanted.
Wow, what a journey, right? From a desperate phone call to a fake marriage to real forever love. Imani and Malik fought through blackmail, betrayal, and their own fears to find each other. Tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you love this story? And do you think contract marriages can really turn into true love? Drop your rating and thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And hey, where have you been watching from this whole time? Comment your city one last time. I love celebrating with my global family. New York, Lagos, London, Manila, Sydney? Let me know.
If this story touched your heart, hit that like button right now. It really helps more people discover these beautiful love stories. And don't forget to subscribe for more billionaire romances, emotional dramas, and love stories that'll leave you speechless. What should I cover next? Secret baby drama? Enemies to lovers? Drop your request. Because sometimes the fakest beginning leads to the realest forever. Thank you for watching, for commenting, for being part of this incredible community. Until next time, keep believing in love, keep taking chances, and keep being amazing. Peace and love, family. Peace.